Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Proper and this is of course Crusader Kings 3. As I adjust the camera here, this is diary number 81, a tour of your royal court interface. This answers questions that we have had for ages now about a couple of the buttons that we see here and there in the screenshots, but it also, and this is why I'm actually very happy about this diary, it shows us on a comparative level how things changed. You're gonna see what I mean in a second because I think it will be very apparent. They linked all of the old diaries where certain topics are already talked about, right? And then they show you how it looks. And I will tell you, I personally am seeing this coming together, which makes me very happy because, of course, that means, you know, we don't know when it releases. It's 2022. We know that for sure now, but I'm thinking, could it even be January? You know, so far it was like maybe February because 14th of February is the release of CK2, so I can see them do that, but I'm like, maybe January, judging by the fact that, you know, this is looking significantly better. Now, let's jump in. That being said, we're going to talk a bit about court types, a minor feature for your royal court. Visiting your royal court. When you reach the rank of emperor as a feudal or clan ruler, you have laid the foundation of your royal court. You can now go to it via a button in the main interface. So that is this thing right here. It is under the normal bar. This button highlights if there's something interesting to do in your royal court at this moment, such as if you have a new court artifact. Or, you know, for example, right here, it is an unhandled situation in your court. That is nice. This is a good button. Got nothing against it. Got nothing for it. It does what it does, right? It tells you when something is up, when you need to go somewhere. I like it. You can also view anyone else's royal court via a button next to the character. This is that button. I love this. I love the fact that I can visit other courts primarily, and I will just say this primarily because, kind of, if you're a Viking, you want to raid somewhere, you want to see their court before you go there, right? You want to be like, oh yeah, what can I get if I actually come over? And this is the tool to do it. This is also how to interact, you know, of course, how to look at their court, how well they are faring. Probably also be able to actually see the same interface as the one that you have in your court. The throne room. Your royal court is split into 3 segments: throne room, court grandeur, and court artifact. So this right here is the throne room. We can see it with this. You can see the same chair that you have in the other interface. You also can see that there's one unhandled thing, as it is marked right there, and then this guy is the unhandled thing. I believe that he is in conversation with this fellow over there. What else can we see? This is Pomerania. We are probably the Piast dynasty, I want to say, right? Although this looks like Poland, but I know we're in Pomerania. Maybe we are the king of Pomerania and Poland, right? This is in the year 1140, is right down there. In the year 1140, we're making really good money, we're making really good prestige, and we have 21k troops. So we are probably between 2 and 3 kingdoms, so very close to an empire, at least from the way this feels. Now, we can see everything going on right there, right? Then we have these 2 buttons that we haven't seen so far, so let's see what those do. Or rather, before that, here you can see various petitioners, so this guy, for example, or other goings on in your court, and you can choose to interact with them. These types of events are described in diary 75. It is indeed described in diary 75, you can see it right here, and there's one thing that I really want to highlight. Look at this angle, right? Look at this angle. Look at this angle. Look at the lighting. And now look at this here. This is way better. This is way better, quite frankly, when it comes to the angle that these 2 folks have. You can actually see them. The light is not nearly as glaring as it is here, for example, or, you know, you're not seeing just the random back from the top. No. You are actually seeing both of them in a really good position. They got so much better about choosing the positioning and camera angle, and this is a big step, don't get me wrong here. Of course, yes, it is settings and whatnot, but to get this right, to make this feel normal, I think that is a big step for immersion, and yeah, way worse. And again, all work in progress, of course. I'm not saying, you know, bad work. I'm more saying way worse as it was here than it is here. This looks good. This is some good stuff. I will say maybe, you know, they could turn both of the cameras, so when you get into this camera angle, maybe they could turn them so that they look at you like slightly, but this already works. I'm not gonna complain about something that already looks good and quite natural. Yeah, right, we can see the various petitioners. Let me close this tab, there we go. If there's not enough going on here, you can also choose to hold court, inviting courtiers and vassals across the realm to grovel before you, which was shown in diary 72. So, if I decide to hold court, and wait, actually, let me check something. Do we read through this? Sure. You know what, let me actually read this out. My liege, a word please. My Chancellor Baron Benito approaches me during a brief lull while attending court matters. He gestures to a less populated spot in the room and I follow him there. I'm concerned about the state of Leon Castle. While holding a meeting in one of the rooms, we all noticed a horrific smell. It must have come from the latrines a floor below. Oh, this is the latrine thing again? I think we already saw this, I think. Didn't we? I could be wrong here though. But I really like this event. So yeah, okay, he's begging us to invest in Leon castle, meaning we are the King of Leon here. Yeah, indeed we are. Right, let's carry on. Holding court. Hold court commencement. So when you hold court, you know, this is what happens. Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to open the doors of the hall. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out of the way. Right, so the interesting thing about this is when you start holding court, and then this is when you actually hear someone, right? When you listen to what they have to say. And yet again, if we look at the old dev diary, let's just take a look at it. Here we are. Look at the change of angle, right? Here they are as they stand, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? You're looking at this. I like this angle much, much more. You can also actually, I am so interested in seeing all of the court types. We have seen so many different layouts, and just look at the difference between this. I believe, no, this isn't even the same. How modular is this? Because you can see that these general columns, right, they're in the same space, but the windows are changed. This is a completely different window type. Obviously, the walls are changed. The floor is changed. The actual rug is the same. The throne is a different one, a very different one, even compared to his own wife. I would be very interested. Yeah, these are the same columns. I think they may have built, just from looking at what I'm seeing here, they may have built an incredibly modular court system, which makes it so that you will never see these same types of court, at least not in a regular playthrough. That is very, very interesting. I like this angle much, much more though. It really, honestly, especially with the light shining on us here, this just looks so good. I am the king and you kneel before me. Yeah, yet again, I think the angle is quite significantly better. Were there any more screenshots here of holding court? No. Okay. But yeah, I still think that this proves the point, at least as far as I'm concerned, in terms of, you know, making this a bit more beautiful. A gorgeous figure with a glimmer of revelation about her approaches. I am a poet. I must become your lover straight away. My wife's in the room. We can talk about this later, okay? She has a plus 100 opinion of me. A few seconds of ghostly silence fall over the court. Queen Bojena, formerly half asleep, bolts upright. What? I have composed the cosmos' greatest ballad on how lovemaking can bring moments of enlightenment. You shall become a wiser governor with greater pleasure, revivifying your mind. Grant me the position at once. Guards, dispose of this versifier. Your delusions are charming. Come right for my court. Or she's a poet. We can't argue with that. I love that event. This is a good event. So basically, you go on your whole court. You know, obviously, it pleases the court. I believe they stated, right, that this impacts how much people respect your court. This is a good event. This is a really good event. If this is your liege's court, you can even approach them to hear your reasonable requests as seen in Dev Diary 74. I like the interaction button there a lot, because previously, you can see it right here, at least, wait, let me actually check. I don't think, no. Previously, we did not see this in like a light of, you know, petition them in the interface. When we saw this petition thing, it was always via this, although you did end up, you know, in this actual petition view, but you didn't have this button. I like this. They are merging the UI. I gotta tell you, I think it is really, really good that they decided to go and basically push the release date a bit further to do this sort of stuff. Yes, this is minuscule, but if you overlook this, it will be detrimental to the quality. So this minuscule detail, much like all the other, the camera angles, the lighting, it adds up, right? It just adds up. Now, let me just do something here. Now, let's move on to grandeur and amenities. Moving on to the second part of your royal court, which is an overview of your court grandeur, how much you have, various factors around it, and so on. Grandeur was also explained in, let me close this, in Dev Diary 61, which was just this gigantic wall of text. I remember reading this. And yeah, but I don't really have much to say about that. Now, your court grandeur, grandeur baseline, and unlock grandeur levels are shown on the large bar in the center. So let's examine this bar. These are the grandeur levels. I'm a huge fan of these first levels being closer together and then the next ones being harder to reach, right? Having an acceptable court shouldn't be difficult. Having a great court should be. You know, that is something that definitely needs to be done. You can see we have 25 court grandeur right now out of 100, and our baseline is 43, meaning we will be growing towards 43 as time passes. We're ranked 36th in the world. Okay, interesting. That is pretty low, honestly. At least it feels pretty low. And then we have this as the court level that is expected of us. We looked at this earlier, where if you look at this, we're in the year 1140, and we seem to have a pretty big realm, because we hold 11 counties on our own, and we have 21,000 men. We make 33 every month, right? So, we clearly have a big realm. Having a big realm should mean you need big court grandeur. People should expect that you get this level, right? What I'm curious about is the actual cost to reach the grandeur, but we're gonna get to that in a second. Our current level is 4, yep, as we can see. Well, we do not have enough grandeur to maintain this level because we are underneath 4, right? We have unlocked it before and it will thus stay unlocked for 6 months regardless of how much grandeur we have. Interesting. So it's not a harsh drop-off, it is a, you know, a moving drop-off. Grandeur level 4, current level requires 30 plus court grandeur. Not enough grandeur to maintain this level. Will become inactive in 6 months unless court grandeur increases to at least 30. Tyranny gain minus 20%. That's a nice effect. That is a pretty nice effect. Did we, let me actually, no, okay, we're good. Sorry, I thought we skipped something, but we did not actually. We can also see that our expected grandeur level is 7, so that is this thing right here. That is our expected grandeur level, which we are nowhere near fulfilling. Yeah, we're not even going to fulfill it with the current baseline. So this is the maximum that we will gain, or that we will move to, you know, as it stands with all of the factors that we have, meaning this is not viable, and it will make people unhappy, as you can see. Inactive level 7, if we were to reach it, we would offer guardianship acceptance for vessels plus 20, prison chance plus 10%, and council opinion plus 10. This is your current grandeur expectation. Since we are 3 levels below it, we lose minus 2.4 prestige, vassal opinion minus 20, this is significant, minus 20 is significant, and courtier and guest opinion minus 20. In 6 months, this court will fall to level 4, will fall to 4 levels below its expected court grandeur. This gives us an additional 0.8 negative prestige, an additional 0.8 renown negative, fellow vassal opinion, are we a vassal? Minus 20, independent ruler opinion minus 20, vassal opinion minus 20, and courtier and guest opinion minus 20. This is a delicate issue. I wholeheartedly support this, right? If you don't pour money into your court, if you don't show that you are the central authority of this realm, that you are worthy of it, people won't respect you. I love this mechanic. I really, really do. But, man, this is gonna be a delicate balancing act, as in a literal balancing act. I trust the CK3 team. They've shown this again and again in previous patches that they understand the balancing of the game. Clearly, listen, they do this professionally. They know what they're doing. But I gotta tell you, man, this is spooky, you know, if you balance this wrongly, you could buff the big codes too much, you could buff the small codes too much. There's so much variance in there, right? But I love this. This is a really cool step, making it so that the more you engage with the grandeur level, the more benefits you will get, and the less you engage with it, the more negatives you get, unless you do at least the bare minimum, right? So we're looking at a situation where grandeur, no matter what, will be important, and this is a big step. I like that person. Let me see. Okay, grandeur is also reflected in other ways. If you have high grandeur, the UI looks more luxurious, and new non-artifact furniture appears in your court. So let's take a look at this. This is low grandeur, level 0. You can see it right there in the top left. This is level 10. This is the maximum. What do we see? We see additional banners. I'm not sure though. Aren't those artifacts? I think that those are artifacts, aren't they? Maybe I'm wrong though. You can see a new bench that appears here on the left side, right? The bench. What else can you see? More courtiers. I don't know whether that plays a role though. But what you can see are definitely these light sources here, right? Anything else? Oh yeah, the rug, of course. How could I overlook the rug? But look at that. That does make a difference visually as well. I wish that we had more liberty, right? With the courts, like paint the walls. Or, you know, get a different floor, that sort of stuff. Oh, that would be cool. But either way, yeah, no, I like this a lot. This is an impact that I will always covet. You know, the idea that you go into your court and you can feel how grand it is. I have seen in the recent months, and most people, at least the people that are in my comment sections that I see on Reddit, that I see in forums in general, that I see on Discord, they like the idea of Royal Court a lot. There are other people, and that is valid as well, that believe that the 3D is really not something they care for. They want a map game, they don't really care for this, but I gotta tell you personally, make this more and more Sims. Hey, you are, just keep going. This is, I like this. So this is a nice little difference that we can definitely see right here. The more differences, of course, the merrier. So hey, don't feel shy to implement more. And you can even see, I guess, you know, the more grandeur you have, the more will people with inspirations come to your court. So obviously not a direct effect, I would assume, but yeah, that's pretty neat. A large source of grandeur is which amenities are available to your courtiers and visitors to your court. Providing excellent amenities is sure to make your name well known across the world. Right, so we have amenities, level 3 and level 3, food and fashion, right? The rest is in the lowest area. We spent 1.14 No, wait, this would be if we leveled up to small lodgings, 1.14. I wonder, court grandeur bonus is +4 for this level, so this might be +2, +6, +8, +10. That sort of makes sense, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? At least if it's a linear correlation right here. So this would mean we are currently, what are we at? We are at, what did I say? We were at 30 something, wasn't it? Let me check this again. Oh, this is actually, we can see something here. Nothing that we like should care too much about. Yeah, okay, we're at 43 as a minimum. This would mean we would be spending per month, and this is a wild guess because I don't actually, I don't understand the maintenance math. I gotta be honest with you. But if we go up to like level 7, which brings us from 43 to about, what might this be? Like 60? 65, 70 maybe? I actually don't know whether it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 40, 50. No, this is 43, so this must be 40, 50, 60. So we need 60 grandeur to get to this. We're at 43. If I go up here, here, we gain about like what, another 15, 20 something? Meaning we would be catapulted to 7. Sorry for the quick nonsense math, but what I'm talking about is basically to get to the necessary level, we probably would be spending like 10, 15 bucks per month for court amenities. That is not negligible. I actually like that. That is not a negligible sum. What I care about, and why I did this math exercise, even though I didn't actually calculate it, I think it's brilliant. And what I care about is this idea that you really need to find a compromise, because this is the way right now how CK3 could balance out gigantic realms. Gigantic realms right now just win. They just win. But with court amenities, if the cost at least is equal to the actual benefits that you get, obviously it comes from different directions. The cost is pure money, but then the benefits are opinion and whatnot. But if that sort of balances each other out, we may have like an anti-snowball effect for big courts. I would love that. Anyway, you've changed your court amenities. This is if we go for stylish fashion, maybe here or there, and then middling lodgings right there, which is the 3rd level. Okay. And then we have court types. With court types, you can choose which kind of royal court you want to foster. Perhaps one where martial prowess is admired, or where there is a whisper around every corner and a lover behind every curtain. You always have the choice between 2 court types based on the ethos of your culture, and changing it costs prestige. If your culture changes, you can still keep your old court type. Oh, that is cool. So if I am Norse and I have a warlike court and I become Greek, let's assume Greek doesn't have a warlike court natively, right? But if I do that, I could still keep it, and with that, a bit of my heritage, basically. I like that. The type of royal court affects 2 things, what you get from your grandeur level and what your courtiers get from being part of the court. While some grandeur levels you reach are always the same, regardless of your court type, some change somewhat. So in a diplomatic court, grandeur level 4 may see you gaining less tyranny, while in a warlike court you gain more levies. I believe we actually saw that earlier, right? Grandeur level 4 tyranny gains. So this is who we are. That is our court type. We are a diplomatic court, yeah. Okay, interesting. And we can choose between diplomatic and warlike here, and then we see what changes this would bring. I like this. Honestly, this is really neat. If I can offer somebody vassalage and it will actually work, that's a different playstyle from, you know, being warlike and going out to conquer. I like it. As for courtiers, each courtier who stays at an especially grand royal court for a certain period of time, 5 years, will gain a special courtier trait based on the court type. So this is military, I assume this is management, so, you know, stewardship, this is intrigue, this is diplomacy. No, this is learning, diplomacy and intrigue. Each trait of these types has 2 different levels. If your court is at grand level 5, courtiers get the 1st level, while the 2nd level will appear at grand level 8. The 2nd base level comes with extra bonuses and can be especially useful for those you plan to be your vassals. So, warlike courtiers get martial +1 and prowess +1. Valued warlike courtier get +2 and +2 and minute-arms maintenance -5%. Monthly martial lifestyle experience +15%. Wow, yeah, that is a born general, hey? That is insane. Court artifacts. Let's move on. I like the courtier stuff. I will tell you, but I don't think I would like this happens, you know, just like that, right? I'm not gonna like go out of my way to get this, I feel. Court artifacts. In short, court artifacts are a special type of artifact. We already saw it right here in Dev Diaries 69. Look at them be right here. There were some beautiful artifacts. They showed how they researched it as well. Pretty neat stuff. And short code artifacts are a special type. These are large furniture and other decorative items you display inside your royal court. This makes them distinct from your inventory artifacts described in last week's dev diary, as you are not holding them around everywhere. When entering this part of the royal court, you can see all the spots where you can place royal artifacts. Let's take a look. Court artifacts, I mean. Right here, what we saw previously in this spot, if we look at this, were basically... Wait, give me a different one. I thought we had a better screenshot here? No? Apparently not, I guess. I really thought we had a better screenshot, but apparently not. We can see books here. I don't know what this is. Maybe also a book. We can definitely... These are like the normal code artifacts. You know, cups, nice stuff that's just like standing around, like general artifacts. I believe we've seen swords in the past. We got banners. What else is there anything else on the walls? I don't think so. Because what interests me here is... Yeah, I don't see anything else on the wall. What interests me for this image is that you have these spots, which are clearly banners. And then you have this, this, and this. What are they? What could they be? This looks like it would be for books here as well. Then these two over there. And then these are the normal ones. And look at that. Right here. The throne. You can have an actual different throne. I love that. No, I hope that this like is well received. On a personal note, this is not me evaluating the quality. I want more of this sort of stuff. More of me actually being in the life of my royal family, saying, "Oh, you know what? Put the book that my father wrote over there." Okay, I like that stuff. Please move ahead. Just like inventory artifacts, they give you a bonus if they are actively on display in your royal court. The primary purpose of court artifacts is to increase your court grandeur, but some have special effects. So this gives you This is a blue item, to be fair. Sigmund's goblet. A ceremonial goblet of masterful craftsmanship. It is made of bone with garnet inserts. A tiny but elegant inscription runs on its side, dedicating it to a stalwart friend, Sviatoslav. Current holder, Chief Volk of Bogislav of Pomerania. Court grandeur bonus +3. +3, that is pretty significant. Again, to be fair, it's blue, so like if green and brown would just be +1, +2. Yeah, honestly, I think this doesn't look too bad, but man... If all of them give you prestige, or if most of them give you prestige, holy moly, that might explain why this fella here... Oh, nothing equipped. Oh, we're looking at the Seljuks here. Honestly, can you look at how nice this Persian coat looks? That's a nice coat, I didn't even think about that. But let me just go up to the earlier one. Look at how much prestige this man is making. To be fair, it's 1140, but like... Yeah, no, my only negative here, my only genuine criticism is that I fear that this may be power creep. Right? Where like you basically like prestige doesn't mean anything anymore once you have like a court full of artifacts. This guy doesn't even have artifacts on this side. He has a lot of banners. He has artifacts right here. He has bookshelves, right? But like, man, he's making 25 prestige. It could just be his real life position outside of this court, right? But holy moly, that's a lot. Actually, oh my god, no way. No, there is a difference between the two. This is 1140. This is 1141. I don't know, I'm like, just like look at like 9.1 versus +25. Yeah, I just hope that it's not a power creep. That would be a bit over the top. I like this though in general. For most court artifacts, there's more than one slot to place them. Let's take a look at this. So we can see the same court, and you can see the banners changing places. This banner goes all the way over there, and then this banner pops up, but I don't think it was anywhere previously. So yeah, this banner, you know, could it be in these positions. I like that. End of the tour. This is all for this week. Thank you for reading. Mrop. I appreciate it. This was a nice dev diary. I think, visually speaking, this DLC, this expansion, is moving to where it needs to be. As we took a look, you know, the angles have clearly improved. Yeah, no, I mean, my main concerns at this point are really from balancing, I think. And I really hope that, like, they figure that out, because that is one of the biggest things. But if it works, oh my god, so good. That could be like an anti-snowball system. It could, you know, reimburse you for playing tall. It could do all this. I would love that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you later. Alligator.